Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of Aurorin Expounded. And, seeing as it's the holidays, it's gonna be a bit of a shorter episode, but a bit of a fitting topic to cover today as well. If you're a patron watching this early, you'll be seeing this just before Christmas, but if you're not a patron and just watching this when it goes live on YouTube, you will be seeing it just before New Year's. Given the festive season and the holidays, I thought it'd be best to talk about that within the world of Aurorin. Holidays. But before we get into the holidays, there's something very important we must discuss before we can get to specific dates. And that is how the calendar works for the world of Aurorin. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. The Aurorin calendar is very neatly organized. It is a 360 calendar year, 12 months, 12 30-day months. The year starts on the first month of spring, and it is very well organized. It starts Spring's Rise, Mid-Spring, and Spring's Fall. And then moves on to Summer's Rise, Midsummer, and Summer's Fall. Then Autumn's Rise, Mid-Autumn, and Autumn's Fall. And then Winter's Rise, Midwinter, and Winter's Fall. Just so my players could keep some sanity though, I did keep the days normal. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense as it's named after our own astrological bodies, but it's more for mine and my player's sanity. So each week is still 7 days, and it's still Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, just because it's much easier to keep track of. I don't want to give my players too much to have to worry about and memorize. But now that we have that settled, let's go in and talk about the special days of celebration that take place throughout the year. And just a quick side note, we're not going to be covering town or country specific holidays like the hunting festival in Spine Watch that was showcased within the first episode of the Paragon campaign, just because if we got into that, it would be very long and complicated. So instead, we are going to focus solely on worldwide holidays, as well as where a majority of the population celebrate, even if it's not in every country, but some things that would be instantly recognizable to everybody. So let's jump on into it. So let's start with Spring's Rise. Of course, the first of Spring's Rise is the celebration of the New Year's. Nothing fancy, it's just New Year's Day. Well, people will celebrate all the things that they have done over the previous year and mourn all the things that they have lost and resolve to be better throughout the coming next year. It is a common tradition to make resolutions to be better, but a much more common and I guess followed through tradition is to set up a memorial to all the loved ones lost the year previous as a send-off, a final send-off that all the people that were lost could be sent off together rather than one by one on their own. And while each culture has a different way to honor their dead, this is kind of a worldwide tradition, not so much as to actually pass on the soul, but more just to pay respects and kind of get a little bit more closure and a goodbye so the person saying goodbye, the people that are still with us, can move into the new year as a new beginning without being weighed down by the past. It's a very symbolic gesture, nothing to do with the actual soul moving on. The next holiday in Spring's Rise will fall on the 15th of Spring's Rise, and this holiday is known as Life Bloom, a celebration of D-Fourtress, the goddess of life, animals, and plant life, and just nature all in general. And this is a celebration of her breathing life back in after the winter into all the plant life and letting it bloom anew. It is the celebration of rebirth and renewal, and most people celebrate it by going out collecting flowers, decorating and taking up gardening, and basically you'll see some flower parades, and there will be people that will go and hand out bouquets as a tradition of the holiday to people that they enjoy. Don't know why I'm holding this. I saw this on my desk And now I'm just flailing it around. I need to always be doing something with my hands. Why am I holding this? Anyway, I put it down. Hands are free. Anyway, like I was saying, common tradition of Life Bloom is to celebrate life and give these gifts of fruits and flowers to people you admire or respect as a show of good faith, and also it is a holiday, a tradition that not very many people keep. However, some people see it fitting in keeping with the theme of rebirth and renewal. Some people use this holiday as a holiday of reconciliation and forgiveness as well, turning a new leaf, turning into a new chapter within their lives where they can move on without the pain that the harsh winter that they endured. Another holiday of new beginnings, similar to the New Year, which is a pretty common thing for the spring months. Moving on to mid-spring, there is only one holiday, and that is on the 15th of mid-spring, and every single season has a holiday on the 15th of their middle month, so right in the dead center of it. And they are always known as the peak. So this is Spring's Peak. Spring's Peak is a celebration once more of the beauty and color that nature can bring, and so this is usually a holiday celebrated with art and color, and so you'll be seeing color festivals and people putting up stalls of art and paint. It is very common for people to paint their faces on this holiday during the celebration and fly colorful banners, weave colorful tapestries, and the making of dyes is also very prominent within this holiday. It is just a celebration of the beauty of the world around you. And then last, for the spring months, we have the one and only holiday that falls into Spring's Fall. And that falls on the 27th of Spring's Fall. And that holiday is known as Commemorance Day, which is the celebration of when the Neutral Agreement Alliance was founded. It's when the Nar regions became, where they first established Nar Originis. And it's a celebration of peace and community to celebrate when the world, quote unquote, came together in its time of need. There are no really specific traditions for how this holiday is celebrated. Usually people will take the day off of work and just spend it with their families, and it is more or less just a way to show respect to those people that came together to try and make the world a better place after a horrible turn of events. So, with the spring covered, let's move on to the summer. Starting at Summer's Rise, on the 10th of Summer's Rise, there is a day known as the Day of Balance. This day celebrates the gods of the four elements: water, earth, fire, and air, and basically is just a celebration of the, for lack of a better term, the structural integrity of the world of Aurorin and the balance that they have achieved. Many people celebrate this by going on hikes to commemorate the earth. Some people will go and set up wind chimes, make shrines of wind chimes, and try to create beautiful melodies with the natural winds that flow through and around. Some people will take the day and go sailing and do some sailing tricks and acrobatics, as well as things like surfing and swimming to commemorate the god of the water and sea. And some people will end the day with a bonfire cookout to celebrate the Lord of Fire, to basically bask in its warmth and appreciate all it does. Not everybody celebrates this holiday, but it is big enough to be recognized worldwide, and some people do make a pretty big deal out of it. Those four gods aren't going to smite you down if you don't celebrate it, but they are pretty appreciative of people who do, and usually they offer small blessings like clear skies on a day that they need it, or things of that nature. I keep picking this up because it's in front of me, because I like having something in my hands. And it's too tempting. I need like a freaking fidget spinners. I don't know. Do I have ADHD? Okay. Also falling in the month of Summer's Rise on the 23rd of Summer's Rise is celebrated as Victory Day. A very simple celebration where the citizens of the world celebrate the victory in the War of Black Gates, shutting out the forces of the Abyss. That is when victory was officially declared. The final Chaos Gate, or final Chaos Heart, was destroyed, sealing the material plane from the Abyss for good, letting the world start to recover. And it wouldn't be till the following year that a Neutral Agreement Alliance would be brought up. And so this day is usually just spent going to memorials and paying your respects, either in person or in thought and in heart, to those who gave their lives to protect the world, even transcending social and political borders to come together to stop a major threat from happening. Now let's move on to Midsummer, and of course in Midsummer, on the 15th, there is Summer's Peak. Summer's Peak is a celebration of community and togetherness, to where usually an entire town will gather up for a town-wide celebration and cookouts and competitions and things like that. It is usually an entire community coming together to throw a party, usually put together by whatever authority figure runs that town, whether it be the mayor or even in Storacell, the queen herself will put on this event, and it will be a citywide party with activities for kids and just an all-around celebration of community and having fun together. And that is the only holiday within Midsummer, so let's move on to Summer's End, which also only has one holiday. This holiday falls on the 25th of Summer's Fall and is known as Soul Metal. This holiday is a celebration of police force, soldiers, and adventurers that put themselves in danger to make sure everyone else is safe. So it is a celebration of protectors and warriors. And this holiday is usually celebrated, usually gifts are given to people who work in such fields. And for adventurers, if they are recognizable enough to be considered, adventurers and, have a good reputation themselves, usually this ends up in them getting free drinks and lodging within certain inns and taverns where adventurers seem to congregate at, as they are pretty nomadic. Very sweet, very simple. But now let's move on to the autumn holidays. On the 15th of Autumn's Rise, the first holiday within this season is Farmer's Day, where it is a celebration of, farmers, the people that grow the food for everybody around them. And this holiday is usually spent either giving gifts and support to farmers, and even going so far as to help them plant their seeds for this fall season, and to basically take some weight off their shoulders. And the farmers themselves usually spend this day with their families, and they can usually take this day to rest easy and enjoy themselves. It is a celebration of hard work, labor, and appreciation for those that endure that. And it doesn't just end with farmers. Usually most people will extend this to most people that work hard labor jobs, but farming is the most consistent thing that is celebrated, just due to the fact that it is also the prime time to the prime season for seed planting and harvesting. Also falling in Autumn's Rise on the 25th is Parents' Day, where it is basically you just celebrate the parents. It's kind of Mother and Father's Day combined, and so it is just a way for kids to show their respect and have a day make their parents feel loved and special, and is just an all-around celebration of parenthood and the joy that brings. Moving on to mid-autumn, of course, on the 15th, you have Autumn's Peak. And this holiday is a celebration. This is where the prime autumn starts to take hold. It starts getting colder. It's really gotten colder, and the leaves are all changing color, obviously depending on where you are. But this is the holiday that people as the plant life is usually starting to decay and wither. This is the prime holiday to respect the dead of those that have passed. So usually you'll find people, they'll be visiting graves, they'll be making shrines to the family, they'll have family gatherings, going through old memories. This is where people go through, things like old scrapbooks and tell generational stories. It is a celebration of family, mourning the family that have passed, but also celebrating the lives that they lived. That is also the only holiday within the month. So moving on to autumn's fall, or as some backwater, backcountry towns will call it, it's actually just fall's fall. It's much easier to say. It's a joke one of my players made at the table. The first holiday in Autumn's Fall is on the 12th, and this is Autumn Fest, which is a holiday that celebrates friendship, drinking, and food. Those three main things. So most of the people that are old enough to properly celebrate this, you'll find at outdoor festivals with homemade brews and foods, or at the local taverns celebrating the night away. And the final holiday lands on the 30th of Autumn's Fall, and this is known as Harvest's End. And this is where typically a family will get together and make a big feast and show their gratitude for all the hard work that was done. And basically, it is a day for family to enjoy each other's company, enjoy each other's hard work, and show their appreciation for one another with a large feast, bountiful harvest, and usually involves the roasting of some large animal. And yes, this is the Aurorin equivalent to Thanksgiving, but not every single place has access to a turkey. So in Alabast, it's probably going to be an entire roasted axe beak. Or if you're up in Tiervis, it might honestly be a community-wide event, and it could possibly be a mammoth instead. But that's it for the fall months. Let's move on to winter. The first holiday within winter falls on the 5th of Winter's Rise, and this is known as Heart Day, which is a celebration of couples, romance, finding love, and is usually celebrated by date night, giving of gifts, as well as celebrating your companionship in a physical way. And that is the only major worldwide holiday that falls in this month, so let's move on to Midwinter, which of course starts with Winter's Peak on the 15th. Winter's Peak is a celebration of family as well as cheer, and people will go around singing holiday appropriate songs, and there is the giving and exchanging of gifts, as well as a belief in one known as Santa Claus. As Winter's Peak, it literally is just Christmas, and I wanted Santa Claus to exist within Aurorin. Keep picking this up. I'm just gonna go put this away where it belongs. And after Winter's Peak, there is only one final holiday that falls in Winter's Fall, on the 30th of that day, 30th of that month, which is the day before the New Year. And this holiday is known as Solace. This holiday is celebrated by isolating oneself and being absorbed in one's own thoughts for self-reflection. It is a day to meditate on all the things that you have learned and experienced through the year. And even though a lot of people don't take the celebration of this seriously, those that do usually tend to find pretty good benefits from it. And then at the end of this day, it brings you right back around to New Year's to repeat this whole cycle of holidays over again. Thank everybody who took the time to watch this. I really enjoyed making this one, and I felt it was appropriate given the time of year that it is. Once again, I just want to reiterate that this is not every single holiday within the world of Aurorin, just one celebrated by the majority of the population of the planet. And so there are quite a few more holidays that are celebrated only in specific towns or specific countries and things like that. But these are the most widely celebrated ones for the entirety of the world. But before I head out, I just want to do a quick reminder. Our Patreon is still up. So if you have our Patreon, you'll be seeing this video a week early before Christmas. And you'll have access to certain levels in the Discord. We have 3 tiers currently, a $1, a $5, and a $10. The $1 one will get you just a thank you from us and a shout out at the end of videos and within the description of these videos. And the $5 tier will get you a bit more of a bigger show of recognition, as well as access to certain Discord privileges on our Discord now. You might get the chance to play with either me or any of the other cast members as we're playing around on there. And if you go with the $10 deal, you'll get everything from before, as well as access to patron-specific merchandise that we will be making in the future, as well as a permanent 15% off promotion for any and all merch that you buy for as long as you are a patron. That is going to be a for everything. So just a fun little thing. And speaking of patrons, I'd like to thank our patron at the adventurer tier, D-Four-Fan. And once again, your support is absolutely, we couldn't appreciate you more. You're putting us on the track to be doing what we want to do, and you are helping us get the ball rolling on that. And I couldn't be more appreciative, and the rest of my team couldn't be more appreciative. And we just thank you wholeheartedly from the bottom of my heart and the bottom of the heart of the rest of us. And to everybody watching this, even if you're not a patron, we appreciate every single view, and thank you so much for supporting us through this very first year of our content creation, and we are hoping for many more years to come. So thank you all so much, and we will see you all in 2024. But for now, that's going to be it for me. You all have a fantastic Christmas, a fantastic New Year's, or whatever holiday you choose or choose not to celebrate. I wish you all the absolute very best. Thank you, and goodbye.